Jonathan Griesse. I'm pastor here at Cornerstone United Methodist in Jonesboro, Arkansas. When it comes to ministry and calling, I think that I don't really fit the mold in a lot of ways. When it comes to ministry, my parents were in ministry and were vital parts of their local congregation for years. And so in that way, I was in ministry even as a child. I was asked when I was in college to help be a youth leader and to serve in multiple areas within the church. But I went through a season of time when I really walked away from the church and where I left the church kind of as a Sunday morning appointment. And so my call really to full-time vocational ministry came a little bit later in life. And in fact, I didn't even grow up in the Methodist church. I grew up in the Lutheran church. I also had a lot of, my home church for my parents was a non-denominational charismatic church. I regularly attended a Baptist church, an Assemblies of God church. And so that diversity of faith has kind of prepared me for where I am today. But when it comes to call, it wasn't until I came to the United Methodist Church in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. And I just had a friend invite me one day, and I had been really distanced from the Lord. I had kept church. I had walked away from the church. I had not made God a priority in my life for many years. And one day I came back to church just simply because my friend invited me. And it was at that place where it was a communion Sunday. And I thought, there's no way, the way I'm living my life right now, what life has been like for the last 4 or 5 years, I can't take communion. There's no way. But the pastor specifically said in that moment how important it is for us to receive this gift of grace, that it's not something that we can deserve. And so I went and I took communion that day at that United Methodist Church, and I could not get up from the communion rail. I could not stand up from that chancel rail because I was in tears. I didn't want to stand up and turn around, but I just felt that wash of God's grace come over me in a way that revitalized my faith. And really, I feel like that was in some way maybe that Damascus moment that God had brought me to. And then it was a progression from there of becoming more involved in the life of the church, of really understanding what does this gift of grace mean? Who is this John Wesley? Why am I at a Methodist church? You know, what makes this different and special from all these other churches that I've been a part of? And then through some faithful brothers and sisters and some good pastors and an Emmaus walk, I took an Emmaus walk weekend retreat, and really that became the culmination of that calling, where at that one point in that one moment of time, I felt like God had loosened those roots of my life where I was and how He was placing me and putting me into new soil. And so that was in 2007, and that was the journey that began then.